Hey, it's Jared. Welcome back to Weed Review. Quick reminder, right off the bat, if you want one of these very cool t-shirts or hoodies, check us out at pennyprofitdiscountstore.com, home of medicine hats, largest bong room. You'll find it here. Got all the good stuff out. T-shirt's pretty cool, so go pick yourself one up. Now, on last Weed Review, I talked about whether or not weed is chemically addictive or not, and I believe it is not. One of the sites we looked at actually suggested you can OD on marijuana, and I invite anybody to show me proof of that. Just like to see the science behind it or the case study. I don't believe that you can die from smoking too much weed, but if I'm wrong, let me know. On the flip side, whether it's chemically or addictive or not, I still say that it is not. You may have marijuana disorder. I think that's a really technical term for unable or not willing to stop. Now, I got to put my money where my mouth is. I have played around with my habit. I was chronic. I did a cleanse a little while ago. It felt great. I felt as though a fog had been lifted, and because of the research and my own interests, I also thought, what if I used it medically, so to speak, or treated it as a med, as I mentioned, have a couple pulls, put it down. Recreational marijuana is beyond that. As I said, you can go and get together with your friends and you can smoke weed all night. Whether that's abuse or recreational, I don't know. It's a fine line, but everybody has a different perspective. That's why I'm here talking about the Weed Review. So I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I haven't quit completely since my cleanse ended. I've tested the lines here and there, having a couple pulls and putting it down. And I'll tell you what I know about marijuana. I like it. I understand why people smoke it. It is definitely a lifestyle. I think the way we think about weed is different too. We don't think of it as medicine because it's not always pill form. I mean, you can get it in any form you want, but traditionally speaking, you smoke it. And like I mentioned before, I wonder if I would take a pill to get the same euphoria that I feel when I do smoke weed, that release of tension or whatever. The flip side for me is there's a very fine line for where it takes off that edge that I'm looking to release, and it flips over to where I'm paranoid, where they say some negative effects, so to speak. Okay, so we've covered all that. I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is starting today, and I will keep you posted on my sobriety as we go through weed reviews. But today we're gonna go cold turkey. We're starting first thing in the morning. I got high last night with the intentions of saying goodbye today. So here we go. Today's episode, we are looking at positives, the benefits of smoking marijuana. So all of the links for everything I see and show you here will be in the descriptions. Feel free to check these sites out yourself. Feel free to leave me comments, debate me, argue with me. we want to learn here, right? We want everybody to learn. So thanks for watching. Let's get into this here. Benefits of marijuana is what I Googled. I did a Canada search and then I switched off Canada. It's an option here. What I found was really interesting. I think marijuana naturally has, a negative perception. This site, it was one of the first things that they pointed out, and it goes in to talk about the history of marijuana. And if you dive into that a little bit, you'll find out that the history has always been negative. Our governments and certain lobbyists have always wanted to portray marijuana as terrible. It makes human beings terrible things, do terrible things, think terrible things. So anyways, I believe that marijuana has a negative perception, but we want to talk about the health benefits. So I landed on this one site, and I'm just showing it to you here real quick. I'm not going to slow down too much. This link will be available if you want some information. I would click here. They got the stats. They've got everything. Then I found this site, like I said, talks about the negative. This site I found very interesting. It's lifehack.org, 20 medical benefits marijuana you probably never knew. This article is solely based on the medical benefits of marijuana for those with a valid medical prescription. We are highlighting the positive aspects only based on research and scientific evidences. Please note, this is the part I want to make note of. Please note, Lifehack does not promote consumption of marijuana for recreational uses. I found that very, very interesting. Okay, so with all of these sites, this is another one. This is Cannabis Is Legal.org, benefits of medical marijuana. And here's what I found really, really interesting about all of these sites. They all talk about positives with medical conditions. Now, I'm going to hit on that a little bit more because I think it's important. Now, if you go to Canada.ca, Health Canada Services, Drugs, Meditation, Cannabis, Health Effects, short-term health effects. Now, they're calling it short-term health effects. I believe this is why people smoke it recreational. I'm going to point that out right now. That's why I'm highlighting this. The flowers and leaves of the cannabis plant are used for their ability to cause effects on the mind, including feeling high, euphoria, a sense of well-being, relaxation, heightened sensory experiences, sight, taste, smell, sound. Interesting, isn't it? But if I think back, that's what started me smoking weed. The feeling of high, the euphoria, it hits you after a second, you know? A sense of well-being. That's that edge being taken off. Relaxation. Well, if you're feeling high and you're in a euphoria and you've got a sense of well-being, you're relaxed. That's why a lot of people take it. Heightened sensory experiences, sight, taste, smell, sound. Okay, one of the coolest things as I was growing up as a teenager when I first discovered weed was to get high and go to a movie. That was it. I mean, the popcorn tasted better. It smelled good. The sights and sounds of the movie would hit me. That was the whole point of going. I remember we were going to go play pool, me, a buddy, and my girlfriend once. And we got high before we went into the pool hall. And we were facing a very busy street. When we first got high, we were so high. We didn't actually go in and play pool. The euphoria turned into a little bit of paranoia. We actually sat for like an hour watching traffic. So I guess we were very relaxed. So feeling high, a sense of well-being, relaxation, that's why we do it recreational, I would say. End of story. Now, let's talk about the 61 potential health benefits. That's right. There are 61 benefits listed here and backed by scientific research. Now, this page, herbonut.com, benefits of marijuana, is very intensive. And the reason I like it is because, like I say, it's more medical than anything. Helps relieve nausea and vomiting in some chemotherapy patients. Stimulates appetite and weight gain in AIDS, cancer, and anorexia nervosa patients. Decreases spasticity associated with multiple sclerosis. Could help with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. Relieves all symptoms associated with spinal cord injury in some patients. Can help with epilepsy. Can alleviate chronic pain. May help treat bladder pain syndrome. Reduces headaches and migraines. Could help with osteoarthritis by preventing cartilage breakdown. Could relieve rheumatoid arthritis pain and stop its progress. Can help with all symptoms associated with fibromyalgia. Could help with osteoporosis by stimulating bone formulation. It goes on and on and on. Here's one. If you watch this, helps with Tourette's syndrome. If you Google it more intensely, you're going to see some people with some severe medical issues that this stuff helps. And the links are in the description. You can check this out. I have to go by my personal experiences. I believe this is why we do it recreationally. End of story. What I just said, that's why you do it. If not for anything else, for the relaxation, a sense of well-being, and the feeling of euphoria. That kind of sums it up. That's what I'm looking for. Whether it's abuse of how much you smoke or not, that's for you to decide. Now, on the very personal side, on the flip side, when my wife passed away, they stopped giving her the chemotherapy. Let me rephrase that. She stopped taking the chemotherapy. It wasn't helping her. In fact, at the end, we think it was killing her. It helped end her life. I believe the chemotherapy took 6 months off her life. I could be wrong. She was given a year to live. She made it 6 months. And they told us that it was uncurable. So she decided to quit. Now, I want to be positive about this. She kept smoking weed until she died. And that's the point I'm trying to make here. I believe that marijuana has more positives than negatives. It can be a vice. It can be abused. But who's kidding who? 61 backed by science, whatever the definition of science. It's up to you to research this stuff. But I guarantee you, if you've got an illness, any sort of disease, and you smoke a little bit of weed or however it is you digest it, and it takes care of that, to me, that's the end of the story. Anybody should have access to it. So I believe the positive benefits of marijuana are similar to medications in a sense. Whether we understand that or accept that as a society is really the question. So, end of the episode here. I will update you on my sobriety as we go, and I'm gonna say that marijuana has more positive benefits, both psychologically and physically. And like I said, what I mean by that is only you can judge whether you use it recreationally, whether you abuse it, whether you even care that some people think you're abusing it, whether it's good for you recreationally or not, or how it helps you. Final conclusion, stop me rambling here. Marijuana has positive benefits that far outweigh any cons, in my opinion, especially compared to other options, if you will. So, like I say, t-shirt, pennyprofitdiscountstore.com. Hit us up, grab a t-shirt, grab a hoodie. My name's Jared. I will see you next time on Weed Review. Thanks again.